Did you know that in China this year, an Indian film about a teenage girl with dreams of being a singer, made on a modest budget of 15 crores, went on to earn more than international juggernauts like Marvel's Black Panther and Disney's Star Wars The Last Jedi? On this episode of FC Dissect, we look at what the recent spate of successes of Indian films at the Chinese box office mean. Before the slew of successes in the past few years, the most famous Indian film in China was Raj Kapoor's Awaara. In the 1950s, the film had become a success, especially in communist states like the Soviet Union and China, where people connected with it strongly because of its core socialist values. Post the Chinese Cultural Revolution, which ended in 1976, Indian movies once again had a resurgence in China. Awaara was re-released along with another 50s film, Do Bigha Zameen, more than 2 decades after they released in India. After this period, apart from the 1971 Jitendra starrer Karwa and the 1979 film Nuri, few other Indian films made significant waves in China. Fast forward to the 21st century. Although Aamir Khan's Lagaan did get a China release in 2002, Khan only started to become a household name in 2009, after pirated versions of Three Idiots were highly viewed by the Chinese. When the film officially released in mainland China in 2011, it earned approximately $2.9 million or Rs 15.5 crores. By then, Chinese audiences were actively seeking out Khan's other work. Khan had tapped into a goldmine that other Indian filmmakers had failed to recognize. In 2014, Dhoom 3 received the largest ever release for an Indian film in China at the time and ended up grossing approximately $3 million or Rs 18 crores. Capitalizing on the growing interest in him, Khan personally promoted his next film PK with local superstar Wang Baoqiang, who dubbed for his character in the film. The satirical film scored India's first wide theatrical release in China, earning a then record approximate $19 million or Rs 123 crores, more than any Indian film had ever earned anywhere outside of India. Which finally brings us to Dangal. By the time Nitesh Tiwari's film about the two restless sisters was up for release, Khan was already a bona fide superstar in China. Chinese media started calling him India's conscience. Fans lovingly referred to him as Uncle Aamir or Nan Shen, which means male god. Once again, Khan extensively promoted the film across the country. And although experts didn't doubt the film's commercial viability, many, even internationally, were taken aback when the film went on to do unprecedented business. Dangal became the highest grossing Indian film in China, with its final count being about $193 million or more than 1,200 crore rupees. Khan has opened up new avenues for other Indian films. Kabir Khan Salman Khan starred Bajrangi Bhaijaan, which released there in March this year, earned approximately $46 million, around Rs 300 crores. Saket Chaudhary's Hindi medium, starring Irfan, followed in April, earning approximately $33 million or Rs 220 crores. And then Secret Superstar, which Khan starred in and produced, became the first Indian film to get a coveted revenue sharing slot, eventually earning approximately $118 million or Rs 753 crores. But what explains these staggering collections in a country that, until a while ago, didn't even seem like a viable market? Here's our hypothesis. Screen count. Although India has a population of approximately 1.35 billion, we are the world's most underserved country in terms of number of screens. According to a 2018 FICCI EY report, as of last year, we had 9,530 screens, including single screens and multiplexes in the whole country. That's approximately one screen per 142,000 people. By comparison, China, whose population is 1.4 billion, has about 55,000 screens. That's approximately one screen per 25,000 people. The widest release a big Bollywood film can get in India is anywhere between 4,500 to 5,500 screens. But according to Yash Raj Films, Salman Khan's Sultan, which recently released, had as many as 40,000 screenings on 11,000 screens in China. Couple that with the difference in the average ticket price, and you will find that purely financially, there could exist a bigger box office for Indian films in China than in India. Secondly, the two countries share many of the same social and cultural values.
Why they connect to our films is because for them also the family is important. The filial relationship is important, and father and mother play an important part. Family versus individuality, girls versus boys, and opportunities, rich versus poor, rural versus the urban, and all of that is so similar to India. I think they connect to the social context of some of the better Bollywood films which have been shown there. We idealized this after going to China a couple of times, mainland China, that we are actually similar people. We have been kept apart by the Himalayas and by the Himalayan blunders our leaders, both sides of the fence, have done.
Gupta was invited by the Xiamen University in the Fujian province of China to teach Indian cinema to its students of journalism and communication. Lastly, Chinese audiences are more welcoming of foreign films. Director Kabir Khan, who travelled to the country to promote his film Bajrangi Bhaijaan, had this to say.
They want to see films from outside. One of the reasons could be because they have a huge exhibition space, but maybe their production space is not matching up to it. They are very open to watching films, actors, directors work from outside. And that's a great thing because, I'm just look at the parallel over here. Suppose the Bajrangi Bhaijaan of China was to release here. Honestly, I don't think it would do half the business that we ended up doing there.
Over the past few years, India and China have also expressed interest in taking advantage of this growing market. In 2014, Viacom18 signed a letter of intent to co-produce Kung Fu Yoga, a film featuring Chinese superstar Jackie Chan alongside Indian names like Sonu Sood and Disha Patni. The film went on to earn more than $250 million in China, but failed to make any buzz in India. In May 2015, Eros International announced a biopic on the monk who is said to have brought Buddhism to China. The film, Shangwang, had Sonu Sood playing King Harshvardhan. It was China's official entry to the Oscars that year. 2017's Buddies in India, starring Wang Baoqiang, was line-produced by Yashraj Films. Eros International has announced two more upcoming co-productions. One is Kabir Khan's Panda, and the second is director Siddharth Anand's cross-cultural romantic comedy Love in Beijing. Unlike previous China-India collaborations, the two stories are being developed simultaneously through two teams of writers, one in India and the other in China. As is evident, the top players in film production and distribution are already exploring all options to make the most out of this ever-growing market. With a combined population of more than 2.7 billion, the list of possibilities is endless. Co-productions with Chinese companies will essentially help films bypass the import quota, allowing them to score a higher percentage of profits. In Hollywood, studios have already been tailoring content for the Chinese market. There have been instances of actors being cast solely because they were more recognizable, like Chinese superstar Fan Bingbing in X-Men Days of Future Past, excessive Chinese product placements being force-fit into films like dairy drinks and smartphones in the Transformers series, and also entire locations being changed. When Beijing-based DMG Entertainment financed 40% of 2012's Looper, a part of the movie which was originally supposed to be set in Paris was moved to Shanghai. Are we headed in this direction too? Arun Gupta warns against this.
I think the more local you are, the more global you become. So long as films are about life and death, the primary emotions, it will succeed. And I don't think Indian filmmakers need to redesign their films.
And this is evident in the kind of films that have worked.
Ultimately, China was not even on our minds when we were writing and making Bajrangi Bhaijaan. So I think you just have to be true to the story. And if the story is good, it will appeal all across the world. Why China? It might work in Nigeria too.
The release of Aamir Khan's Thugs of Hindostan will prove to be the next big test of his superstardom in China. Will the film, which seems to be more of a visual spectacle than a story rooted in social values, break all records? Only time will tell.